What is going on, guys? It's Modded Warfare here. Welcome back to another episode of Jtag and RGH Tutorials, the updated series. So in this video we're looking at real-time editing mod tools, RTE tools, and how to use them. So if you don't know what RTE tools are, basically in the last video we looked at mod menus, which were actual menus in-game that you can select mod options on, and that'll apply it to the game. Whereas in this case we're looking at mod tools, which are actually basically programs that run on your computer that have a bunch of, options for modding the game. You select one of the options and then it basically sends that to the console through your computer's network connection, through your home network connection. So that is essentially how mod tools work. And so in order to get them working, you're going to need plugins in Dash Launch. So there's quite a few plugins now available. Back when I did the original video, there was only like RTE, I think it was RPC, which is just XRPC. That was the only plugin. Whereas now there's quite a few plugins. So the ones we're going to be really looking at is XDRPC and JRPC2. Those are the only two that I would recommend putting on your console right now. JRPC and XRPC, they're kind of the older plugins for real-time editing tools. So most tools will work with JRPC2 and XDRPC. And XDRPC is basically JRPC and XRPC combined into one plugin. So it's like these two plugins combined into one. However, some old tools will still only work with the XRPC or JRPC, whereas most tools, even if they're designed for JRPC and XRPC, will work with XDRPC. So it's kind of like a trial and error thing. So I recommend just putting on XDRPC and JRPC2, and then if you try and use a certain mod tool and it doesn't work, it won't connect, then try swapping them out for the original JRPC and XRPC plugins, and then it should maybe connect. But typically most tools will work with XDRPC and JRPC2. So in order to install these, pretty simple. We just head into Xbox360 neighborhood, connect to our console, go to our hard drive, and we're just going to drag these two plugins into the root of our hard drive. So XDRPC has quite a little unique feature where it can be loaded without having to be added as a plugin. Now, I've had reports that that doesn't always work. So, if you're having issues connecting, then you can add it as a plugin in Dash Launch as well if the plugin isn't being loaded automatically. But it should load automatically, providing you put it in the root of the hard drive in the same location as your launch.ini and your xbdm.xcx, then XDRPC should launch automatically without being added as a plugin. But if it doesn't and it's not connecting and it's not loaded, then you can add it as a plugin to force it to load if that isn't working. But for most people, it should work fine just popping it in here in the root of the hard drive. And JRPC2, that does need to be added as a plugin. So we're going to go ahead and extract our launch.ini, which is our configuration file for Dash Launch, and open it up in Notepad. So when we scroll down here to our plugins, you can see we've got our XBDM, we've got our Stealth Server plugin. So underneath those, you're going to put in your JRPC2 plugin, so jrpc2.xex. And then you're just going to go ahead and do File Save. And that's that. So we now have JRPC2 added. So drag that back over, say yes to all. And then all you have to do is reboot the console in order for those plugins to be loaded. So you can go ahead and reboot your console, or right click on Jtag, go to Reboot Cold to reboot it remotely. Okay, so now we come to the point of actually looking at some RTE tools and how they work. So I'm going to be showing you guys ApparitionNet Studio in this video, which is my own tool. Me and Kazaki developed this tool. It's a paid for mod tool. It costs $25, but it's an all-in-one tool, which means it has everything in one. So rather than trying to find like 100 free tools to show you all the different kind of things, it's easier for me to show you in ApparitionNet Studio because it's an all-in-one tool. It has pretty much everything all in one program essentially. But to show you guys where you can get free tools from. Okay, so basically if you don't want to go for ApparitionNet Studio, which will have everything in one, then what you can do is get separate tools that can do, like separate free tools that can do each kind of thing So for your off-host modifications, your public cheater modifications, which are essentially mods that you can do when you're not the host, stuff like, red boxes, UAV always on, no recoil. That's the kind of stuff you can do when you're not host on Call of Duty games. So I highly recommend COD Public Cheater by XCX Solutions. It's a fantastic tool. It's definitely not a virus. I 100% trust this tool. So definitely one that you should check out if you're looking for a free public cheater tool, free off-host mods. This is a fantastic tool to go for that. You can also look, if you're just looking for free tools, you can also look in like forum websites like 7sins. If you go, say I'm looking for a Black Ops 2 tool, then I just went into the Black Ops 2 forums and then Black Ops 2 modding, and then you can see there's there's XUID spoofer tools in here. There's a recovery tool, so you can like search through the forums or loads and loads of pages, and you can find tools in 7sins and XP Game Saves and Next Gen Update and the Tech Game and sites like that. You'll find mod tools posted, free tools that you can go ahead and download. There's also Xbox360isbest tool right here. This may not be the latest version, but it's a tool that has a lot of options and it's free. It does look pretty hideous. The UI design is pretty bad, but because everything's just kind of slapped all over the place, but it does have a lot of options for a free tool. A lot of in-game mods for Call of Duty, so that's another one you can check out. Although the thing with free tools, and RGHC is another one, it's got a lot of console tool type stuff, not so much for in-game mods, but a lot of console tools. So if you had like RGHC plus Xbox360isbest plus COD Public Cheater, then you have a good amount of stuff that you can do for Call of Duty games. So that is basically something you can look into. But one thing you have to watch out for is viruses. A lot of people are trying to spread viruses using mod tools, so you have to be aware of that. One thing you can do is run free tools through Sandboxy. I'll link it in the description. So if you run a tool through Sandboxy, you just right click Run Sandboxed, and it will run it in a protected environment so that if it is a harmful piece of software, it won't be able to harm your machine because it's running in a protected environment. But it should still be able to connect to your console. There you go. So you can still connect to the console even though it's running sandboxed. So that's fine. The only time Sandboxy is not going to work is if the tool has an updater built in and it needs an update, or if the tool has some kind of login system, then it's not going to work through Sandboxy. But if the tool doesn't, or there is no update for the tool at the time, then yeah, it should run Sandbox just fine. But one other issue is I hear that Xbox360isbest is safe and it is good, and lots of people use it. But sometimes when you have a popular tool like that, what can sometimes happen is people trying to spread malware, trying to spread viruses, they'll actually inject a virus into that tool, and then they'll re-release the tool on another forum website, and people will think it's safe because they recognize that tool, they know that tool, and it's actually not the original tool, it's one that they released with viruses in it. So that's something you have to watch out for, which is why I'm running this on my virtual machine, because I put this in VirusTotal and it doesn't look safe whatsoever. Sometimes people obfuscate their code, developers obfuscate their code, which jumbles up the source code to try and make it hard to steal things from the tool or crack the tool. So sometimes you will get a few false positives in antiviruses, maybe 4 or 5 detections is normal, and that's nothing really to worry about. But if you load it into VirusTotal and you get more than half of the antiviruses saying it's a threat, then that's either some really, really insane obfuscation, or it's probably a virus. So when you start seeing stuff like this, it's probably a good idea not to run it on your computer, which is why I'm running it in a virtual machine. So definitely check, when you're downloading free tools, use Sandboxy and upload them to VirusTotal. If you get 4 or 5 detections, it's probably fine. If you get any more than that, then it might be a virus. But those are the tools you can use for free. Now I'm going to show you guys ApparitionNet Studio. Let's actually look at how to use a mod tool now. So we've got our plugins installed, we've rebooted our console. I'm going to use ApparitionNet Studio, like I said, because it has all the stuff in it. But essentially, other mod tools are the same in the way they work, and the way they connect to the console and all that kind of stuff. So with ApparitionNet Studio, it automatically connects to the console. So other tools like Xbox360isbest tool that I just showed you there's just a connect to Jtag button. You click the connect button, it connects you to the console. If the connection is successful, then that means your plugins are working. And if the connection isn't successful, then they're either not working or they're the wrong plugins. Also, you need to make sure when you're using RTE tools that you have your console added in neighborhood and have it set to the default console with the little orange tick. So you need to make sure you have that set up. So ApparitionNet Studio, it's got mod tools for all the Call of Duty games pretty much. We've got all the Halos, we've got Left 4 Dead, GTA 5, you've got CSGO, Battlefield, all sorts of games. You've got indie and arcade games up here, and console tools. So that's why it's like an all-in-one, everything in one. So let's do Black Ops 2 just to show you guys. Okay, so here we are on Black Ops 2 on a new account. So here's some of the advantages that you can use mod tools. So with mod menus, you actually had to get into the game in order to use them. Apart from certain mod menus like aimbot mod menus like Ninja's cheats and XB Online's cheat engines, those can be used also in pre-game lobbies, but they have limited options for pre-game lobbies. Mod tools can do quite a lot of stuff just in the lobby before you even get into a game. So as you can see here, we're in the menu, we're not in a game, and what we can do is we can actually set stats. So for example, we've got this recovery section here, and I can put in, let's say, prestige 10, legit stats, and then I can set all stats. And as you can see, I've just been put to prestige 10. I can even cycle prestige, so this prestige will switch between different prestiges. So you can go into a game and people will see your prestige changing in the lobby. So you can do stuff like that, set your stats. You can even change, or you can do unlock all as well. So let's do that. Unlock all, so that unlocks basically everything, everything in the game. Obviously we don't have access to, okay, there we go. So we've got all the attachments and we've got all that stuff. All the perks will be unlocked. All that stuff will be unlocked. So obviously you need to put yourself to the highest prestige if you want to unlock all the weapons and everything else. Well, let's just do that. I think that's prestige 15. So we'll set prestige to 15 and there we go. So that's another thing you can do. You can go ahead and set your stats. All kinds of things that you can do in here. Quick recovery, class editor, you can edit your class names. So I can go ahead and set my class names, any one of my classes. So I can put ApparitionNet as my class, or let's just do modded class or something. And then we can go, in fact I don't think you should have spaces on Black Ops 2, it screws up. So let's go ahead and set class name, so I can do that and then look at my classes. You can see it's changed to modded_class. I can set all colored classes so that all my class names are kind of like different colors. That takes a little while to do. There we go. So there you go. They're all multicolored class names. Plus you can do stuff like changing your gamer tag as well. So if we go into spoof XUID, we can actually change our gamer tag in here as well. So if I want to change my gamer tag to my actual YouTube name, for example, so modded_warfare, I can do that, spoof gamer tag, and there you go, it's changed to modded warfare. I can even add colors, make it green for example, set gamer tag, now it's green. Obviously there's a gamer tag limit. Plus another thing you can do is you can spoof your XUID, which is your whole profile will appear as though you're signed in as somebody else, which is pretty cool. So let's do Major Nelson. This is like my go-to XUID spoofing account I always spoof as when I'm doing examples for some reason. I don't know why, but it's always Major Nelson I use as an example. So yeah, Major Nelson's my kind of go-to. So I'm going to go ahead and do spoof full. And you can see my name's changed to Major Nelson. And then when I go into like public match, it loads his player card and all of his stuff. And if anybody sees me in a public match and sees my name and recognizes that person and is wondering if I'm a modder or if I've just stolen his name or something, then they can go and view my gamer card. And because I've done a full XUID spoof, when they view my gamer card, it will show up with the person I spoofed as gamer card. It shows their gamer card, so you can see their gamer card right here. So that's another thing that you can do. So quite a lot of stuff that you can just do in a pre-game lobby without even getting into the game. You can even do remote recoveries where you can actually set somebody else's stats without having to download their profile. So there's a lot of stuff. I can't go over all of it in this video because it will be like half an hour long. So let's see what else we can do. So let's actually go into a game. So I mentioned force host in another video. In our mod menu video, I said that mod tools are better for force host, which guarantees you to be the host of the game. So with force host, you just start searching for a match and you click force host. And then it says here, once you see time remaining, click OK. So all we're going to do is wait for it to say time remaining in the game, which it's about to say any second now. There we go, time remaining. I click OK, and it starts the game. And because I'm the only person who's loading into the game to begin with, I'm guaranteed to be the host of the game. So there you go, I'm host, guaranteed. And now other people are joining in. So what can I do with mod tools? Well, like I said, when it comes to in-game mods, you don't typically have as many options as a mod menu, but there's still quite a lot of stuff that you can do. So for example, I can change my gamer tag again. So I could do animated multicolor. So that's where it starts changing colors, as you can see there. It's like constantly cycling through different colors. Then what else can we do? So let's just change that back to normal for now. So we'll just set client gamer tag. So you can see all these people are joining in. So you can do stuff like give weapons. So if I do that, oops, back out of here. So that gives me the weapon. I can change my primary weapon camo as well. So I can do stuff like, I don't know, let's give diamond camo, for instance. Oh, somebody just killed me, that's great. Let's try that again. Diamond camo, there we go, diamond camo. And let's put on God mode just to stop that from happening. Unlimited ammo, I can do that as well. There we go, my ammo is not running out. Unlimited ammo. Kill streaks, black screen, third person. Put myself in third person. Freeze player. And you can do this with any player in the game. You just click the player you want and then say give them a weapon and then they'll have that weapon. Or freeze the player and it'll freeze that specific player. So you can do all of that. Plus you can do stuff like, okay, client HUD. You can disable the HUD. Teleportation's a big one as well. Visions, so we can give ourselves different visions here. There we go, changing the vision. How about that? So you can change all the different visions. Infrared. Bunch of stuff that you can do with the client modifications. You can also get player position, teleport player to your location, teleport all players, teleport player to sky. So if I do that, that's going to send me way up into the air. Can teleport all clients to me. So there we go. Pretty much everybody's up in the sky now falling. We've even got zombie specific mods for when you're in a zombie game as well. So quite a lot of stuff you can do just with the client modifications there. In fact, let's just teleport back to custom coordinates. That'll teleport us back to the same location. Anyway, so let's see what else we can do. So we've got global game variables, so you can modify your jump height, stuff like that. You can modify your gravity as well, so you start floating around. All this stuff you're doing on a computer and sending it to the console, which is pretty cool. There's band bypasses, all sorts of stuff. I should have enabled DVAR protection at the disabled DVAR protection at the beginning for certain things as well. Custom commands, host modifications, so all kinds of stuff, unlimited ammo on there. All kinds of cool stuff that you can do with mod tools. But as you can see, there's not as many options as a mod menu for in-game, but you know, you can still do quite a lot of stuff. In fact, something I forgot as well to show you is a lot of mod tools have off-host modifications as well, off-host mods. So, for example, you can have UAV always on, body cams, you've got red boxes, draw bodies through walls, you can even end the game when you're not the host. So no recoil, small crosshairs, ESP, toggle your field of view, change your field of view right there. So you can, so basically you've got all these public cheats so you can see everybody in the game, all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. So you can, and all this stuff, all this off-host modifications can be done when you're not the host of the game. So you don't even have to be the host of the game to use this section of mods. Whereas the other ones you do, like the client modifications and the global game variables. Even custom commands where you can send, so let's select myself, so you can send messages to specific people in the game, or send it to everybody in the game, so you can see there hellos popping up. So you can do all that kind of stuff with mod tools. There's quite a wide range of things you can do with mod tools. So let's just end game off host, even though I am the host. So that is that's mod tools, guys. That's what you can do with mod tools. If I just open the Advanced Warfare tool, just to kind of show you that it has the same amount of stuff that the Black Ops 2 tool has. So you got all your stats, your recovery stuff, even a gear customizer for Advanced Warfare, your classes, your modifications, your teleportation stuff, you know, all the same things, your gamertag changer, your XUID spoofer, your force host, your ban bypasses, your host modifications, your off-host modifications. So many things. And there's also the console tools. The dash launch editor allows you to edit your launch.ini file, so you can change your dash launch settings right here, edit your plugins list, all that stuff. Even a KV checker, so you can check your KVs. Like I said, the file manager, an achievement unlocker, which can unlock all your achievements. Module debugger, which allows you to inject plugins into memory without having to reboot the console. Network sniffer to grab people's IP addresses of the people in the game. Yeah, just loads and loads of things. So yeah, there's too many things to go over really. Screenshot tools, console info, console functions, opening and closing your disk tray, changing your fan speed, custom notify messages that you can send to the console. Just loads and loads of stuff. So if you're interested in this tool specifically, I'll have a playlist linked at the end of the video, which is all the videos I've made on ApparitionNet Studio. I even have a whole separate YouTube channel just on this tool, which has a few videos for that as well, because it's ridiculous. There's so many things in this tool. But so that's one thing. Or you can go the free route, and I'll put links in the description to where you can find the free tools that I mentioned as well. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe and comment if you have any questions, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next video.